Hey guys, it's Marcus here, and as you can see, we're back. We're playing PS4 16, but this is completely new. This is a new series. We're playing Master League now. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner, if you just can just about see it, it's very small. It was the straw poll from when I told which team you want me to play as, and basically in the end, I ended up picking Crystal Palace over Master League defaults. Now the reason I picked Crystal Palace is because the Midnight Kid, if you don't know who he is, there's a link in the description below, is doing a Master League defaults team. Master League, so I was like, well, there's no point 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people doing the same Master League, so I decided to go with something a bit different. You'll see I picked Crystal Palace in a moment. Basically, I just wanted to say that now before we get into it. So in today's episode of Master League, basically the whole point of the season is to try and get as good with Crystal Palace as I can possibly get. So win the title, win Champions League. Bit of the Champions League has been won, we move on to a different team, potential different league, maybe even stay in the BPL, maybe move on, I don't know. So basically, yeah. So basically making your avatars, basically make Marcus as the avatar. We pick, of course, the club team lineup instead of the Master League original lineup because, of course, like I've already said, we're using Crystal Palace as the club team. So it was a big decision when I was actually doing it because, of course, Master League defaults got like 21 votes and Crystal Palace got 11. But I was like, I tried to play a bit with Master League original lineup and I was like, it actually was quite fun to play with them. But then again, I was like, I don't have enough time to like actually put so much effort into playing with the Master League original lineup. So with that being said, move on. As I said, Barclays Premier League, and we picked Crystal Palace as our team. So Crystal Palace, of course, have some very good players like Sir James McArthur, Johan Kabay, Yannick Bolasie, as well as Wilfred Zaha. And I was like going into this expecting, like, of course, like I said, making it as realistic as possible. So I'm not going to go crazy with signings or anything. I'm just going to buy, like, I don't know, like Hector Bellerin's usually on the transfer list. I'm not going to go buy him or anything. I'm going to buy players who would most likely move to Crystal Palace in real life. And of course, when it comes to selling players and stuff, it sort of makes sense as well. So first thing I did was straight away went into the game plan, checked it out to see who could actually play and where and whatnot. So looking at the whole team overall, I was like, centre back needs to be improved like completely, because the best centre back I have is Scott Dan, and then it's Damien Delaney and Breda Hangeland. Like right back is pretty decent with the likes of Martin Kelly and Joel Ward. Left back, really only Suarez Friars is there as well, but I mean it's not really that good. And of course goalkeepers Speroni, Hennessy and Alex McCarthy. I was like, I needed someone maybe slightly better, or maybe like a potential better goalkeeper and goal. Like my midfield and going forward, I have a lot of good players, so I wasn't really too bored by that, but I did look out, of course, looking for more players. So of course likes of Zaza and stuff like that. But eventually I see that Castaños, the Netherlands player, is actually a free agent. So I went out my way and went and bought him because, of course, he's a free agent. It's realistic enough that he, as a free agent, he would probably move to someone like Crystal Palace. I also looked at Romagnoli from what's it called, AC Milan. And of course, the one of the things I do like about this new one with PS4 16 in particular is when it comes to doing transfer negotiations, you don't actually just like go, oh, let me just adjust the terms in terms of, oh, I'm only going to pay 5 million or whatever. You end up making it so you just say adjust terms, and it gives you a percentage if it will be a potential signing or not. So in the end, we end up buying Romagnoli from AC Milan, a pretty decent centre back, 76 rated. So basically, more or less could be replacing the Damien Delaney. We end up selling Fraser Campbell to Boca Juniors for like 5.5 million, which is ridiculous to think. We sell Julian Speroni to Stade Rennais for 4.2 million. So basically, selling some players that are quite old, selling some players that probably won't get that much time. And we end up going out and getting Maicon from FC Porto, 27-year-old, 80 rated centre back. Now we end up getting him because of the fact that the scout report came in saying that he was like a maestro and blah 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 blah, and he would, like, of course, improve the team overall. So with that being said, we go into the first match of this episode. Like the majority of these episodes, when it comes to the January transfer window or the transfer windows in general, we're going to spend like a lot of time doing the transfer stuff, like half the episode doing that, and the other half is of course going to probably be 1 or 2 matches. So don't expect like matches every episode. Like in this particular case, we're going to have probably the first 2 or 3 episodes are going to be based in the transfer window, and then the next like 5 or 6 are going to be in the space in between the 2 transfer windows, and then back into the January transfer window and stuff like that. So with that being said, we started this match started a season against Sunderland. As you can probably tell from the team colours are a bit off ever so slightly. Well, they're not off, the fan colours are off. So as you see, both teams are represented by a blue fan colour, when in reality only Crystal Palace should be, and Sunderland should either be red or, in this case, green. So basically I need to change that. That won't really take too long to change. I might have to change that at the end of the season, because playing for the game is absolutely fun to play. Actually, Sunderland are considered as a white team for some reason. You can usually tell with their undersleeves, which are worn by the players. But as you can see here from a Crystal Palace team, we played our strongest team. Romagnoli got his debut, as well as Castaños. You had Joel Ward, Scott Dan, Jedinak, McCarthy, Cabaye, Balassi, Zaha. Like an amazing team, as you'd expect. Of course, all the transfers have been updated in the BPL. I'm not bothered to update the Serie A ones because of the fact that there is a lot of transfers do actually go on in the game. It's actually very interesting, to be honest, but not really going to go into that. Sam Allardyce is the manager of Sunderland, as he is in real life. Toivonen, Gooch, Larson, Bridcut. I mean, they've got a lot of good players in there, but I mean, I was like expecting this game to go a lot more smoother than it actually does. You'll see in a moment. Jedinak is the captain at the current moment, but I might change that to Cabaye because of just how good Johan Cabaye actually is. I usually make the captain usually my best player, and in this case, of course, Cabaye is my best player. So in the 6th minute of the match here, Balassi on the ball, playing some nice little one-touch football. Eventually, Cabaye gets the ball, gives it into Wilfred Zaha. Zaha takes a shot, and he hits it just wide of the post. So basically getting like some opportunities in the first minutes of the match. 14th minute of the match, Balassi gets a strike away. Really good save from Vito Manone. I was going to say Yannick Balassi. A really good save from Vito Manone. And then in the 19th minute, Castaños gets a strike away himself. Doesn't come to anything. And then in the 31st minute of the match, they nearly get through on goal with Gooch. Get a strike away. Joel Ward makes an absolute mistake of it. Toivonen comes through, tries to get his shot away, and Alex McCarthy actually comes out with a pretty decent save. Considering he might more or less be my first team goalkeeper because of the fact that I just sold what's his name? I just sold Speroni, so he could potentially be my first team goalkeeper. May or may not buy a better one later on. But with that being said, in the 57th minute of the match, going into the second half, James McCarthy actually runs past two players, gets a strike away, and he scores our first goal for the club in the first game of the season. A very nice finish from James McCarthy as he goes to kick the corner flag. Before we go all the way up into the 71st minute of the match here, Castaños on the ball, plays it into Johan Cabaye. Cabaye just waits for people to make some runs. No one makes any runs, so he makes a run himself, runs past Kabula, he's not there. Triple tap, crosses it in to Yannick Balassi, who pops him back in net. Not a sweaty goal, because it's a really nice cross, really nice goal. And Yannick Balassi scores to make it 2-0 to us against Sunderland, and he goes off to go and celebrate with the camera, because why not? And basically stuff like that. So in the last minutes of the match, as you expect, Sunderland sort of just deflated and defeated in general. Jedinak still running about trying to get the ball back, eventually does get the ball back, doesn't come to anything, and then eventually in the last minutes of the match, they give the ball to Fabio Brini. Brini gets tackled by Joel Ward, and the referee blows the final whistle for a 2-0 win for us on our debut at Selhurst Park. Pretty decent for us, could be worse, we could have lost the game, but we ended up actually winning a relatively difficult game against Sunderland. As you see from the stats, the game was, well, we sort of deserved to win, but they did have some opportunities. James McCarthy, of all people, got man of the match with 7.0 rating. And of course, as you see from other match day results, match day 1, Arsenal got beat by Newcastle, Norwich got beat by Aston Villa, Bournemouth beat Southampton 4-0, Chelsea and Stoke were 0-0, which is relatively realistic actually, considering how bad Chelsea are in real life at the current moment. Everton and drew Swansea 0-0 and stuff like that. And as you see from the actual table, Bournemouth and Liverpool and us, we're like 4 or 5 teams are like joint top. But as you see from the terms that have been set from the squad list, we end up seeing that Maicon and Murillo are both there, both 2 players I actually really want in my team. So we end up selling Marwan Shamak to some terrible team, I don't remember who I actually sell him to. We end up buying Maicon and we end up buying Murillo as well, because we needed some better centre backs, some players who can potentially be there for the future as well as just for here right now. And of course we sell, like I said, Marwan Shamak actually something to Brissain, and we end up buying Murillo from Inter Milan for 7.7 plus 7.0 million. And with that being said, into the last bit of this episode, there's been an update in the transfer negotiations for Jack Butland from Stoke, and we actually go out and we look at the negotiations for him. We're going to pick between Jack Butland and Jay Placid. I have no clue who Placid was, but I knew that Jack Butland was going to be one of the players who ended up being a much higher rated than he was. At the current moment he's only rated 73, so we went out and we bought him and we confirmed the transfer. So yeah, this is the thumbnail for the video, this is the thumbnail for the series. So yeah, nice little thumbnail. If you want to change anything, then go ahead and just comment below. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.